Today on Daditude BBQ and More, we're going to go from cooking to baking, and we're going to make some keto sugar-free lemon bars. That's right, stay tuned. You don't want to miss this.
Daditude BBQ and More. Daditude BBQ and More.
Welcome to a special baking edition of Daditude BBQ and More. And as I said in the opening, I'm going to make a delicious keto sugar-free lemon bar today that is absolutely fabulous. Bon appetit. However, before I get started, you know what to do. That's right. You slap that bell, you hit the subscribe button, you give me some thumbs up, and you share this video with as many family and friends as you can share it with so we can get this video out on the algorithm and make people a better cook in the kitchen. That's what it's all about. And today, a better baker in the kitchen. So before I get started, I also want to give some shout outs today. I'm going to give a shout out to Lisette, Henry, and the Gum Smuggler. That's right, Gum Smuggler is in the house today for Daditude BBQ and More. So as I said in the opening, we are going to do this, and I'm going to show you what I use as a sugar-free substitute. I have gone through many sugar-free substitutes. I have limited my consumption of regular sugar for health benefits. I've just learned over time how bad sugar is long-term. So I have tried my best to find some of the best sugar alternatives to use when you're baking or cooking for that matter. And my personal favorite, I get no endorsement from this at all. My personal favorite is Swerve Sweetener. Swerve measures cup for cup, just like regular sugar. It tastes so good with minimal to no aftertaste, which is what I love. They come in 3 varieties. They have the powdered sugar, confectioner's sugar right here. They come in granular, just like regular sugar. And it also comes in brown sugar, which tastes almost identical, if not identical, to brown sugar. So you can make all of your sweet treats and even do some cooking if it calls for some sugar with Swerve Sweetener. And what I love about Swerve Sweetener, I don't know if you can see this on the secondary camera, 0 calories, 0 sugars, which is fantastic. And when we look at it and we want to see what it's made out of, it's erythritol, and that's basically it. Erythritol is a sugar sweetener that is healthy and has little to no side effects, at least on me. So anyway, I wanted to share with you what I use as a sweetener. Today, we are going to be using almond flour, a little pinch of Himalayan pink sea salt, but hey, guess what? You can do any type of salt you want. We also have 1 stick of butter melted, and I'm going to put in just a little bit of about a half teaspoon of vanilla extract, pure vanilla extract today. And of course, our sweetener. It's that easy. I'm going to use my KitchenAid blender today to blend it all up. And then I'm going to show you how to go ahead and make the crust and then make the filling to go along with it. So without any ado, let's cut the flab and get straight to the meat. And this time it's straight to the lemon bars. So the first thing I have here is 1 cup of almond flour. I'm going to put that in here. The next thing I'm going to need to do is open up the Swerve Sweetener, and you'll see that it comes out looking just like powdered sugar, which is amazing. I'm going to dip in here, and I'm going to get out about 1/4 of a cup of the sweetener. You can see it looks just like powdered sugar. I'm going to put it in here, put this off to the side. Then I'm going to put in our 1 full stick of melted butter, just like this. I'm going to give a little pinch of Himalayan pink salt. Don't need much on that because it is very salty. And then I'm going to put in a half teaspoon, I should say, of vanilla extract. Now, one thing I do want to mention, you could mix this by hand, would be no problem at all. What I'm going to do is mix it in the KitchenAid mixer. So I'm going to get that together and start the blending process, and I will show you that here shortly. All right, welcome back. I have the KitchenAid blender ready to go. I've got my secondary camera on so you can actually see what's going on inside. And what we're going to do is just mix this together on low speed at first. So I'm going to go ahead and turn on, I'm going to turn it up to about a 2 to a 4, maybe a 2, maybe a 4 to get started. And you're going to see on the secondary camera that this is mixing up nicely. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit more. We're going to let it blend for about probably about 60 seconds. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into the dish, the baking dish. I'm going to show you what I do with that. So I'll be right back to show you that, and then we'll get to baking today. All right, welcome back. I have gone ahead and blended the crust mixture together, and I'm going to show you now what I do to go ahead and put that in as the crust. I have preheated my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll be baking this crust for roughly about 20 minutes, and then I'm going to pull it out and let it cool down for about 10 or 15 minutes before I add the filling and put it back in the oven. You'll see just from those little ingredients that I put in here that, oh, and by the way, I also wanted to say that I use parchment paper. You must use parchment paper. Wax paper will not do. Parchment paper, pretty much anything you bake keto style is going to need parchment paper so it doesn't stick either to the pan or the dish that you're using. So you want to get parchment paper, and that is very important for a keto dessert to come out looking great. So I'm going to go ahead and pull out the dough. Now, one thing about these keto doughs is they can be a little sticky, but this one has turned out really, really nice. And I will show you here shortly on the secondary camera how this turned out. Look at that. A ball of dough, a ball of healthy dough, I might say. So I'm going to stick it in here like so, and then I'm just going to start spreading it out in the pan or in the dish. You can see that on the secondary camera. And what you want to do is you want to press it out, obviously, to the very edges or as close to the edges as you can get. Some people actually make or at least I have before, I don't know some people, but can make a double portion of this. And it's going to give you a little bit more thicker of a crust. But I'm not a huge fan of thick crust on much of anything. So I'm just going to make this more of a thin crust. But I'm using just my regular recipe for this, and it has always turned out fabulous. El fabuloso, as I would like to say. So, as you can see, this is being spread out, and it does cover a lot of the pan, pretty much the whole, not the pan, but the dish, pretty much covers most of that up, and I'm going to continue to push it out just a little bit more. Because what's going to happen is you're going to want the filling, obviously, and the filling is going to go in over top of this, and you don't want it to get onto the edges, really. That you want the crust to hit all the edges so the filling can fill this up very nicely. But you can see, without much effort, really, we've got this nicely packed in there now. There you go. Look at that on the secondary camera. Looks so nice. I'll even bring that up closer so you can see it. All right. I'm going to just push it out just a little bit more here on the edge. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect when you're cooking. As a matter of fact, to be honest with you, you're going to make some mistakes, and that's what trial and error is all about. And that's how I have mastered some of these recipes. Is I've messed up multiple times, whether it's baking or cooking, and I have found out what not to do. So I'm trying to pass it along to you so you don't make the same mistakes and your dish comes out perfect every time. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put this in the oven now, 350 degrees, 20 minutes. I'm going to pull it out, let it rest for about 15 minutes and cool down. In the meantime, I'm going to show you how to make the filling to go over top of this to make a great lemon bar. So I'll be back shortly to show you how to do that. See you soon. All right, welcome back, and it is time to make the filling for the lemon bars. Currently, I have the crust in there baking. It has about 8 more minutes. So I figured I'd go ahead and make the crust now. As you can see, I've got just a regular whisk. I'm going to do it by hand for this, unlike the crust where I use the KitchenAid mixer. Now, these lemons, I have to be honest with you, they're huge. These are probably the biggest lemons I've ever seen. Normally, lemons aren't going to be this big, so mine's going to have a little bit more lemon taste, which, hey, I don't mind. You're also going to see on one of my lemons, looks like the peeling has been peeled away. Well, in fact, what I did was I zested one of the lemons. And if you don't know how to zest, you just take a shredder or something like a cheese shredder, and you go to the small size on that, and you just take off the skin, and it ends up looking like this. And the zest is going to give it I'd say a zinger of a taste, so to speak. It's just going to add to that lemon taste. So the first things first, what we're going to do is we're literally going to juice 3 oranges. Now, as I said, these are huge oranges. Doesn't take very long to juice those up. If you have a juicer at your house like this, very, very simple to do. So I'm going to go ahead. I've already done 3 of them here. Number 4. Number 5. Man, these things are so big. I don't think I've ever seen a bigger lemon in my life. This is crazy. And then we're going to go here for the last one. And there we go. So I'm going to put the top lid, which is full of the gook, as I call it, back over in the sink. Look at all that lemon juice. Man, it's amazing. So I'm going to go ahead and pour it into the bowl. And I'm going to get rid of that. We're going to put the cutting board off to the side. We're going to bring back over the bowl. So now we'll move the secondary camera back in place. I'm going to add the 3 eggs. And I'm then going to add a little pinch of Himalayan sea salt, or Himalayan salt, I should say. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the Swerve sweetener again. And this time, we're going to go ahead and put in three-fourths of a cup. So I have a 1/4 mixing cup here. I'm going to put 3 of those in for the 3/4 of the Swerve sweetener. Put that off to the side. And again, guys, you're going to see a mess. I mean, when you cook, sometimes you just make a mess. You can always clean it up at the end. And then we're going to go ahead and put in 3/4 of a cup, which will be 3 of these, of the almond flour. And then we're going to get the rest of that out of there real quick. And then we're just going to mix it up by hand. I'm going to press in, make sure the eggs are broken up a little bit. And as you can see on the secondary camera, as I mix this up, it comes out as a great little consistency here. It's going to take a little bit more of mixing, but it doesn't take much, as you can see. There it is. And then what I'm going to do, obviously, as you can see on the secondary camera, I'm going to stir it for maybe about a minute. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out the crust. I'll show you the crust when it comes out of the oven. And then I'm going to let that crust cool off for 15 minutes. We'll pour this mixture over top of it, put it back in the oven, and bake it, and we'll see how it turns out here in just a little bit. I'll see you again here in just a few minutes. All right, I pulled out the crust, and as you can see, it is browned perfectly around the edges. Looks perfect. And then in the middle, it looks nice and soft, which is going to be great for the filling. I'm going to let this rest for about another 6 or 7 minutes, and then I'm going to put the filling in, and we'll go from there. We'll put it back in the oven at 350 degrees for roughly about 25 minutes. I'll see you again soon. All right, welcome back. I've got the crust, I've got the filling. It's been about 20 minutes since I took it out of the oven, so it is nicely cooled. I'm just going to take the filling and I'm just going to start pouring it over top. Just like that easy. And as you can see, the filling is on there. Get it moved around just a little bit to cover up the crust there. And I'm going to put this back in the oven, as I said, for 25 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we are going to take it out, and then I'm going to let it cool. I'm going to usually put it in the refrigerator for about an hour because I like a good cool or cold lemon bar. The consistency is just so good. So what I'll do is when I take this out of the oven, I'll give you a close-up shot of what it looks like coming out of the oven. And then after about an hour, I will pull it out. I'll make another video like this and we'll do the taste test, because you know that is my favorite part of all the videos, is the taste test, and it's Vinny's as well. So hopefully Vinny will make an appearance here in just a little while. So until that time, until it comes out of the oven, and then until it comes out of the refrigerator, after that, I'll see you again here soon. Oh my goodness, guys, look how amazing these lemon bars have turned out. Look at how it's solidified on top of the crust. I mean, that looks absolutely amazing. Kind of looks like the moon right there. I'm just kidding. Anyway, guys, I'm going to let this cool here on the kitchen island for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for about an hour to get it nicely cooled down. And then we're going to take that taste test. But I cannot believe how great this has turned out. I'll see you soon. All right, welcome back. It is the moment of truth. Did the lemon bars not only come out good, but are they tasty? Well, you can see on the secondary camera right here that it looks like they have cooled down quite a bit. And there are some cracks in this, but that's to be expected when it goes from hot to cold. Now the question is, will I be able to cut through it, and will they cut easily? So again, using the parchment paper, I'm just going to make a cut here with a butter knife. Look how easy those cut. And they come out just like this. Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Look at this right here. Put it up to the secondary camera. Look at that crust. Oh, guys, it doesn't get any better than this. Look at that. And then holding it up to this camera. Guys, it's ready. I'm ready for the taste test. So I'm going to go ahead and taste it and let you know exactly how it tastes. Wow. As I said before, I'm not a sugar eater. I don't eat a whole lot of things that are sweet, but knowing that this has 0 sugar and is extremely low carb, I think it's like 4 grams of net carbs per serving. Guys, this is a treat. This is a delicacy, especially when you're on like a keto diet or even a carnivore diet like I'm on most of the time. Tasting something like this is just the way it goes. It is higher fat, but just like on a keto and carnivore diet, it's always higher fat, higher protein type meals and desserts for that matter now. So this, guys, it had such a lemon taste to it, but it's not an overbearing lemon taste. It's not a sharp lemon taste. Even though those lemons were huge, this turned out really, really nice. It's a very subtle, very smooth lemon taste. The crust, so buttery. Oh my goodness. If you like butter, if you like the taste of butter, the crust is so buttery. And again, remember, it only had a few ingredients in it, right? We only had like almond flour and some butter and some sweetener and some vanilla extract. Guys, this is so good. I had to go for a second bite. And again, I'm giving myself an applause because these turned out amazing. So again, if you want a low carb, easy dessert with 0 sugar, I highly suggest going with these lemon bars. They're easy to make and they turn out fantastic every time. So that's just about it on this edition of Daditude BBQ and More. Just remember one more time to slap that bell, give me some thumbs up, and subscribe to this channel. And then also share the video with those people that you know so we can get the word out how to be a better cook in the kitchen. And hopefully I'll be back on soon with another fun video, whether that be another dessert, a baking one, or another main dish. Whatever the case is, I hope you join me next time on Daditude BBQ and More.
Daditude barbecue. He's the grilling dude. Daditude barbecue. You know how we do. Let it burn, smoking meats on that smoker grill. Clouds in the sky, you can smell the flavor in the air. Daditude.